Hey y'all, I am James Roy. This is my lovely wife Courtney, and
Hello.
this is the Noise Date Night Edition, a podcast where we talk about our weekly date night movie selections and give you the scoop. So this week we watched Moonfall. I thought it was a great movie. Most of you probably wouldn't, but that's another discussion. For our opening segment, let's talk about the most important thing that we did all week, which was watching and getting caught up on The Bachelor.
Yes.
So I think we have to open by taking a side here on the whole Shanae discussion and Shrimpgate. So let's get into that, babe. What are your thoughts on Shrimpgate?
I think that Shanae should have gone home. I think that Clay should have seen the red flags. I mean, anybody who talks that much about shrimp and other people in a negative way clearly doesn't have a lot of self-awareness, which I don't know. Are guys attracted to girls like that? Maybe.
I think the only
clearly
reason
Clay is.
The only reason he kept her around is because every time that it looked like she might be the bad guy, she just threw herself at him.
I agree. She definitely made a lot of first moves, and maybe he was attracted to that, but it was just like so cringe to see her stay week after week.
It was. And so we're not quite fully caught up. I think after this we're going to watch this week's episode of The Bachelor, but it looks like
hopefully she goes home this week.
So as far as where we're at, they said they're going to do a 2-on-1 date
with her and Genevieve.
Yeah, with her and Genevieve. So that sounds like that should be the final straw. I think that
because I feel like her and Genevieve haven't had any like beef, and so it's like Genevieve just like called her out on the last group date. So, like, Shanae has no reason not to like her, so what's going to be her excuse this time? She didn't talk to her. I don't know. She ignored her when she brought out some Brussels sprouts.
I thought it was interesting how everyone attacked Clay's mother over this, though.
Yeah. No,
because
crazy.
I think it's indicative of a larger crowd, and maybe this is just a bias from me, but I feel like that's something that Southerners would do, where they're like, they're like blaming his mother for the way he was raised, and I like in a more deep way. I don't know how to express the thought that I'm having, but like I feel like sometimes in other cultures it's like he's bad and it's his fault, and I feel like it's mostly a Southern thing to be like that boy's mother could have raised him better.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Obviously, like, parents have some kind of responsibility to raise your children, but there comes to a point where you're an adult and you are now solely responsible for your actions.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I'm sure, like, his parents weren't proud of those moments.
Oh, yeah, I bet they were watching,
but, I mean, that's just between them and their son.
That's not the son we raised.
Wait, they didn't say that, did they?
No. But I can imagine them thinking it. If we had a son and he went on The Bachelor and did that, I'd be like, whoa, dude. Do we need to have a talk about that?
So you would let our son go on The Bachelor?
That's a whole different discussion. This is assuming he's already there. That discussion's been had.
Okay.
Sorry. Courtney's
I'm trying to tap into the in honor of V-Day coming up. Share your wedding song.
So she's putting her wedding song on an Instagram story right now.
I am.
Try. I'm eating Greek yogurt right now.
Can you believe this? He doesn't like fruit, which is like sweet, and there's so many different options on fruit. But he'll eat Greek yogurt, like Chobani Greek yogurt, like the plain Chobani, no flavor, not vanilla, right? It's not vanilla, is it?
I'd have to look. Let me see. Be careful, you're gonna put the thing on the table.
Okay, it is vanilla. I'll give you that. So that's a little bit better. But like, I feel like this is like intense. if you're into just eating like the artificial yogurt with all the sugar and color dye in it. This is like,
I mean, it doesn't taste far off from regular old yogurt.
that's so weird.
It's a little bit of a thicker consistency.
Well, what about like the sourness to it? You're okay
Oh,
with that?
it's a little more sour, but it's not like excessive.
But like grapes are sweet,
I don't know. Grapes just have a weird texture.
and like strawberries are sweet. Can
Strawberries,
be a little tart.
I'll be real. This taste of strawberries isn't bad. It's the texture.
And like a gala apple, a crisp apple, a pink lady apple is like the
Apple-
sweetest thing ever.
Apples are only good if you put peanut butter on them.
Then why aren't you eating fruit if you can eat them with peanut butter?
Because why would I put peanut butter on an apple when I could just put peanut butter directly into my mouth?
But you're not getting all the nutrients that the fruit has in any other form.
I'm getting vitamin D from the sun.
You were underwater for 6 years. I don't know. I just did an Instagram poll. Do you like fruit over Greek yogurt? I do. I mean, I also like Greek yogurt, but I don't. Yeah, no.
Oh well. No,
Oh, well.
on that note, I guess we can get into our discussion of Moonfall.
Sounds good.
All right, so this week we watched Moonfall, a movie that is a sci-fi thriller. The way I explained my view on it to Courtney is that I felt like it closely paralleled to Battleship, which is why I liked the movie a lot, because it kind of parallels with the impossible task accomplished by a group of people that don't seem like they should be able to do it. And that appeals to me for many reasons. The sci-fi spin just made it even better in my eyes. But overall, I thought it was a good movie. I think that if you go into it with your expectations set correctly, you'll set yourself up for enjoying it and having a good time. So like you're not expecting like a 5-star excellent movie in every aspect, but overall, definitely a good movie in my eyes. What did you think of it, babe?
Yeah, I thought it was a good sci-fi movie. It's definitely cheesy, so you have that element. And the story and the script are, somewhat, I don't like a classic sci-fi formula, but I did like all the twists and turns at the end. It was interesting.
No, yeah,
It did keep my interest.
Yeah, it did, and I definitely don't think it ended like I thought it would.
No, I kind of liked the ending. And like my problem with like the 355 was that I kept looking at Jessica Chastain and thinking, this is not an Academy Award, and she is just above that. And although Halle Berry was in it, she was like, I don't know, kind of good for the role.
I feel like she did a good job.
Yeah, she did.
Can we talk about how Halle Berry literally hasn't aged for the past 10 years?
Yeah, she looks exactly the same from when she did Catwoman.
Who
She did Catwoman,
who
right?
did she sign a deal with to
Didn't she do Catwoman?
She did Catwoman, but that
And when
was
she
like,
played Storm,
she did, but those were all roles that were almost 15, 20 years ago.
that's why I said she looks the same from when she did Catwoman. I was agreeing with you when she said
Oh,
she hasn't aged
Oh.
in 10 years, and I was
I was
giving you
like-
a reference to
I was like,
10 plus years
okay.
to agree with you.
I feel like she looks a little different. No, not really. No, she doesn't. She doesn't look any different. How does she do it? I don't know. Either way, at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and issue the spoiler alert, and move into the big three. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers, now's your chance. Going, gone. Okay, so to break this movie into 3 parts, what we have to look at is the construct in the sense of the best way that I can think to do it is to go and you look at the story that's told in the beginning. To go back 10 years prior to the initial encounter with this entity that causes a space mission to go wrong. And then you lump that in with the discovery that the moon's trajectory and its orbit is off for the first time ever. When we, 10 years later. And so when we pair that all together and we're introduced to John Bradley's character, Casey Houseman, we kind of get a look at a little bit of building around the characters in this part where I think we get familiar enough with most of the characters that it's okay to progress the plot. And I feel like it doesn't do a bad job of introducing us to the main characters and giving enough about them that I don't feel like I'm unattached. So there's that. There's some points like early on with the relationship with so Patrick Wilson's character Brian Harper is the astronaut that fell from grace,
Mm-hmm.
and the relationship with him and his son is kind of, it's very glossed over, um, compared to how much they expect us to care about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's the first part. We kind of get background, and then we're like, hey, the moon's out of orbit. The second part of the big three is going to be the quest to figure out what's going wrong. The world thrown into chaos, and everyone going, okay, well, how do we fix this?
Mm-hmm.
They send a mission, they do all these things, and they figure out that it's a pretty hopeless situation.
Yep.
And so, for the most part, like the head of NASA steps down. Everyone's kind of like going into panic mode and going to hide in the hills, as you would expect when we have found out that the moon's gonna, eventually enter our orbit and destroy us. So, the third part is the final mission of kind of like, how do I put it? The final mission to like go up and get into the moon and fix the problem. And so, with that, we're faced with kind of like a coming to a head of like all of the characters, where it's like, is Brian Harper ready to make the big sacrifice? Is Casey Houseman ready? Throughout those scenes, we kind of get a look at him stepping into roles that have actual pressure. Because to this point, he's done all these calculations. He's figured out what's going on. But there's been no pressure to it except for the pressure to let people know that he knows something is up. So we kind of get our early look at like them finally stepping into a situation that tests them, and like it was a high stress for me, honestly, watching this final fight scene. Also in the final third part, we kind of get so to this point we're kind of told that this entity is the moon and that the moon's trying to attack us.
Mm-hmm.
But then we're introduced to the idea that and it's sprinkled throughout the movie, this whole superstructure theory. But I think to this point we all kind of thought maybe there's something wrong with the moon. There's minor evidence throughout that kind of leads us to believe that might not be the issue. And then it's brought to light during these final scenes during the fight that there's this entity that's trying to destroy the moon and Earth at the same time, and we're kind of led into the whole our deep ancestors had their early struggle with AI and or what we call AI, and that's what's attacking because it doesn't want to serve organic beings, and so they sacrificed themselves to send the moon out. The moon created the Earth and all this other really out there stuff. It was interesting theory. I think it created a bit more how do you say, not higher stakes, but my attention was piqued trying to like comprehend the steps that they were taking to like shape this theory.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting enough to get my attention. It wasn't like one of those things where like they start introducing this weird theory stuff and you're like, okay, well, I'm out of the movie now. Because honestly, the reason my expectations were kind of low going in was because I was like, why would the moon suddenly attack Earth? Like I couldn't make sense of it. And so I feel like this theory honestly gave me more understanding and made it make sense. And so then we're faced with the final sacrifice at the end of this part, where initially we think that Brian Harper is going to be the one. He kind of gets a briefing from the moon's intelligence system, and while he's being told all this history stuff, he kind of gets told, we were trying to see if you're ready. We need a human to sacrifice themselves to take out this thing so that we can go back into orbit. The computer's like artificial system.
Yeah.
And it's like we were designed to like help, and we just need this thing to be distracted. We need someone to act as bait. And so Brian's plan was to hop into the bomb that they had set off and stay behind. But while they're having this discussion, him and Halle Berry's character Jacinda, Casey goes in and detaches the rover and goes, hey, this is my thing. I don't really have anyone waiting for me back on Earth. No one's ever believed in me, and this is kind of my plight to take on. I'm gonna make the sacrifice. So the Armageddon thing where it's like, I'll be the one to stay behind. I'm Bruce Willis and I'm gonna save the planet. And then I mean, They barely make it out alive. The moon's about to crush Earth, and all of a sudden it goes back into orbit. It's literally entered the atmosphere, and it's like conveniently enough, it's attacking the family that's trying to their family that's trying to escape, and their shuttle like lands nearby, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, so glad that you're safe." Blah blah blah. Um, and then a quick little like thing that's added on to the end is that then Casey's like consciousness is zoomed up into this computer thing on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And the last scene kind of leaves an opening for possibly a sequel of sorts. I wouldn't really know what it would be. To me, it would look something like Independence Day 2, where it's like we have the tech necessary to stop this, and now we're gonna really be tested.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's pretty much the big three. So I guess on that note, babe, can we get one negative and two positives about this movie from your perspective?
Sure. One negative and two positives. I would say negative. I think that the dialogue, or not the dialogue, I think the story obviously is a little cheesy for me. At some points I was like looking at James like, oh wait, he likes this. Um, so it looks like we're gonna stay in the theater, but so that was probably a negative for me. The
Yeah,
story it wasn't
yeah,
as like, I don't know. It was just really predictable and cheesy at some points, and some potty mouths.
yeah.
And then two positives
Two
or two
positives.
negatives.
Two positives.
Okay, fine. Two positives. One, I did like the ending. I thought it was interesting and different and unique. I also didn't like, I mean, I have to tell myself it's a sci-fi movie and it's fictional and it's like for fun. But obviously I believe in creation. But then I
No,
have to
yeah,
like remind myself about like Star Wars and other worlds like that. But because it was our world, I don't know. It's a little bit different.
yeah.
But positives, I definitely think the ending was interesting and unique and different. Was not expecting that. And second, I loved like the visual effects. Like on all the like cool shots of like the water coming up, the anti-gravity and
Oh
it like
yeah.
going sideways. That was like awesome. And then like the avalanche, but then the gravity pulling it. So like seeing that go different ways, that was really cool too.
No, yeah.
But then again, like some of the endings of those parts were a little unrealistic, but the visual aspects, it was pretty sweet to see. And then like the buildings and how they're like falling, and
Exactly.
it,
Yeah.
it reminded me of like, what was that one movie where like all the buildings just kind of like fall? Like any of those movies about like big tornadoes that just take over everything, or like the big tsunamis, or
You talking about like that one with the Rock,
probably,
San Andreas?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, with like the big wave,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
like visually in that way. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good on that.
Nice. It was kind of what I'd expect out of a movie that had a $138 million budget. It's a shame they've only pulled 12 million so far. So, um, it's it's not surprising that it bombed at the box office, but it is I don't know. It's interesting. But I guess I'll deliver my negative and positive, and while I'm doing that, Courtney's gonna pull up the reviews and what people thought of it, and get ready for the negative Nancy bit. So for me, the one negative, I can agree on the cheese part. There was a lot of cheese. I think I brought it up earlier. My biggest negative is probably the relationship between the father and son being hyped up, or not being hyped up enough for what they tried to make it out to be. Um, and then for positives, I thought that John Bradley did an excellent job. I thought that his character was awesome. Great comedic relief, but also a great arc of like typical passionate enough to pursue what he wants until he gets it, and seeing that come to fruition was nice to see. I felt like it was done well. Um, and then another aspect I liked, honestly, an honorable mention is Michael Pena as Tom Lopez, but I really liked the way that they portrayed. Um, I think they portrayed realistically what it would be like. Like the writing was kind of like, yeah, I don't care that I'm the director of NASA. I'm out of here, and I think that's very realistic. So, yeah, no, that's my my negative and two positives. And on that note, we'll get into what the critics are saying about this movie. So, babe, what have we got from the critics about this movie?
Well, it has a Metascore of a 40.
Okay, that's not awful, but it's not good.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Most of the critics on there, I mean, I would say the highest on here is probably the LA Times. It says that Moonfall is stupid though. And then, like some people gave it like a 20, like The Guardian. It's a 5.3 by users on IMDb. People didn't hate it. It's not like Cry Macho.
Yeah.
But it looks like you have the stats if you want to read them.
It was interesting in this one because typically the critics, when they give it a bad rating, the audience redeems it. But the tomato meter has 39% by critics and 69% by the audience score. So that's super interesting that the audience wasn't into it because I was so into it.
The audience was at 69%.
But like
that's
I'm
like
saying,
way high.
I'm saying relative to like the audience score for
yeah, but you have to think like everyone's watching this movie, or not everybody, but like people like me who have just like a higher expectation on just films in general. And so for me, like it's not going to cut it on like a high rated movie, but for someone like you who's into that genre, it's entertaining.
Okay,
so that's how you would get 69% for something rated so low.
I feel that.
That's like a high margin.
No, I mean it is significantly higher than the critic score, but last week the 355 surprisingly enough had like in the 90s on audience score, which I thought was weird. But what are the negative Nancy's saying about this movie?
Negative Nancy's. I mean, it says if you take parts of 20 other movies and mash them together, I'm a sci-fi junkie and I can enjoy a stupid, mindless action flick. I still find Armageddon highly entertaining on this day. Then they go on to write 8 more paragraphs on how they did not like it at all.
Wow.
But I'll read the last sentence. It says, in the end, if you can't at the very least deliver entertaining mayhem, then you have failed. Womp womp. 1 viewing, opening night, 2/3/22. Some people did really like it. Like someone gave it a 10 out of 10 and wrote awesome disaster film. So, some people did really like it.
Different strokes.
Catwoman, Ed Warren, and Samuel Tarly save the world in this preposterous blockbuster. It may seem too early in the year to be claiming such things, but it's going to take something truly special for my personal favorite final scene of the year to be anything but Moonfall's need to be seen effort. Okay. I hate to base my review on a trailer or trailers, but this just looks so stupid. Well, you can't really base your review on a trailer, so hopefully they went and saw it.
But it doesn't look like they did. That review.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Warning. They did a warning. This movie glorifies conspiracists, but doesn't mean this behavior is encouraged. Just to clarify.
Thank you.
Someone called it trash fall. A big budget wasted and a sloppy execution and a handful of stars acting by paycheck won't save a hollow script. I'm kind of with you on that. I think the script was a little hollow in my opinion.
Just a little bit.
It just seemed a little bit more like forced and maybe like, I don't know. I think Halle Berry's a pretty good actress. I haven't seen her in a lot of things lately, but I feel like she could like improvise if she wanted to or was able to. And if that's what they gave her, I don't know. More like Moonfall, entertaining plot concept, but either far too serious and too slow with not enough crazy or exciting moments, or far too preposterous to be taken seriously. Okay, I can see that. Because sometimes when they were like super serious, I was like, wait, no one's laughing in the theater. Everyone is like in it with them, and I'm like, this is not serious.
My goodness.
You know what I mean?
I felt like
I was waiting for like Sharknado to come, and I was hoping like a shark was gonna swim or be seen in like the ocean when the water was like being lifted. That would have been sick.
There was some fish, but there wasn't any water or any sharks.
I know, that would have been so cool.
It would have been cool.
Or like an orca, because they were in Houston, so there wouldn't have been an orca. There would have been a shark, maybe.
They weren't in Houston. They were in.
That was at the Space Center.
Are you talking about The
When the
launch
helicopter was, when the launch. Where was that at?
that was in L.A. I'm pretty sure because they said they used the Endeavor, and the Endeavor's in downtown L.A.
Oh, okay.
And they
So it would have been
didn't.
off the coast of California.
Yeah,
Then.
they were off the
Okay.
coast of Cali.
Okay, fine. Should
But
have seen like a shark or something.
no, yeah. What was I gonna say? I had something. I don't know. Either way. Oh, we didn't even shout out the fact that John Bradley was in Game of Thrones.
Well, if you got the Samwell,
Samuel Tarly.
yeah,
No, yeah. Someone said it in
reference.
their review.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. I I thought it was a good movie. What is your rating on it? I feel like so we're gonna give our ratings now on a scale of 1 to 7, and I feel like it's gonna be really far apart, and I'm gonna be high, and she's gonna be really low. So let's see it. I wanna know what you're gonna say.
What did I give the 355?
You gave that one a 1.
I really didn't like it.
Yeah,
Are you
I
sure
could
you gave it a
tell.
1? Okay, with that in mind, giving that a 1, and I gave Dune a 4,
I believe so. Yeah,
but this is out of 7.
it's out of 7.
Okay, I probably should have went higher on Dune. And I'm like in retrospect of comparing it to movies of this year, but this
Yeah.
is not the Oscars. So I would say it is way lower than Dune. Way lower than Dune
Yeah.
on every level. But it is a little bit higher than the 355. So out of 7, I'm gonna go with a 3.5.
3.5. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because again, it was bearable. I'll probably see this on a TBS again
Yeah.
when I'm like grading
Yeah.
or having my morning coffee and I'm like, I want to watch some old movies. Let's turn on
My
TBS.
goodness.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I was gonna say?
What?
I see the valid comparison between this one and Independence Day. Now I'm pretty sure.
I was the one who said that for
Yeah,
the
no,
record.
And you said that.
I
and
literally looked at him and was like, is this like Independence Day?
when
This is like
and I just saw a
Independence Day.
news article that said I'm pretty sure the director for this movie is the same one as Independence Day. I want to say.
I'm pretty sure it is as well, but are you going to fact check that?
Well, so the only thing I have is that I scrolled through these articles, and it says right here, from Independence Day to Moonfall, Ronald Emmerich keeps obliterating Earth. So I'd have to click into the article.
Yeah,
and see.
Independence Day, Godzilla,
But he
the
was
day the Earth stood still. He's all into like, you know.
But I can see the parallel
Oh.
because so that's how I view Moonfall. It's a movie that is it's semi-serious, but for the most part, it's serious in
Oh,
the
day
same
after
way that
tomorrow. That's
Independence Day is.
Yeah, like you do have that comedic relief in Independence Day. Somewhat.
Yeah, with Will Smith.
With Will Smith. Shout out to Will Smith. He got nominated for Best Actor for King Richard.
No, I saw
Who
that.
called that one?
You did.
I feel like I did. And also, the Ricardos, they both got nominated for Best Actors.
They both got
Yeah,
nominated.
Yeah,
That's wild.
I know.
I'm here for it. People were
We
mad
should do an
that
Oscar special.
people were mad that Spider-Man didn't get nominated.
For anything. Someone
I'm
was
down.
like, hello, he pretty much saved the box office. He saved the movie theaters this
Why?
season.
I think, and so one of
The
the
whole industry, and he couldn't get a bone?
spins that I saw in that was that when they made that movie, I think they knew that they weren't going to get any award consideration, but that the $1.7 billion that they got was enough.
Yeah, do they need a gold statue to verify?
That they got $1.7 million
I mean,
or billion.
Black Panther got nominated.
But Black Panther, we don't need to get into that discussion right now.
I'm just saying. I loved
Um,
Black Panther. I
I thought Black Panther
it was
great. Yeah,
but I
same.
also think that Spider-Man was fantastic.
Yeah, it's a shame. But my rating.
And the whole multiverse is just like insane. But I guess that would be adaptation of screenplay, or would it be original?
I don't know. You
I
said
wonder
you said
like
it best.
how those like rights work. You know what I mean?
I think you said it
copyright
best. They
works.
usually get credit for like some sort of special effects.
Yeah, they did. They got
So-
it. I totally said they were gonna get that. They did got nominated for that.
But Best Picture
That's
is
it.
not something they usually get.
no, never.
So I mean, except for Black Panther,
That was nominated for Best Picture, right? I mean, am I going crazy? I'm gonna need to check
I
this up.
or have to just fact check it. While she's fact checking that, as I said, my rating is going to be a lot higher than hers. Think I had Dune at a 5.5, so I'm gonna have to go with 5 for Moonfall. Again, I'm the same guy who thinks that Battleship's a great movie.
Okay,
so.
yeah, Black Panther got nominated for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things. And
Ooh.
Best Picture was something else that they were one of the categories they were nominated for.
Ooh, that's wild. No, we can do it. I
They
think we
should
could
have at
do.
least just given Chadwick one,
We should do
honorary
an
one.
Oscar special next week. For our opening. What do you
Let's
think?
do it. That means we have to get a hold of all the Oscar films so we can have an opinion, or
Exactly.
should we make that a goal?
We can try.
Okay.
At the very least, we'll come close. If you aim for the moon, then it'll probably fall towards Earth and try and destroy it.
Oscar nominee, best achievement in visual effects. There you go. That's it.
That's it for Spider-Man.
That's it.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying.
Well, on that note, I guess we'll get into talking about what we're gonna watch next week, and maybe we'll continue to talk about Spider-Man because that's a talk-worthy topic. But yeah, so next week.
Yeah.
So over the next few weeks, there's quite a few good movies.
Yeah.
Coming out. It's picking back up. In fact, on February 11th, there will be 3 separate movies dropping that are worth seeing, somewhat at least. Honestly, I can't remember the third one, but I know 2 of them off the top of my head. So coming up next soon is going to be movies like, oh geez, I'm blanking. Death on a Nile, which is, as Courtney pointed out to me so eloquently, supposed to be a continuation of, Death on the Orient Express, right?
Murder on the Orient.
Murder on the Orient Express. Which I haven't seen, so I gotta do my homework on that one. Marry Me, the movie with J-Lo and Owen Wilson, which we're seeing on Valentine's Day.
Woo woo.
How romantic. That was my idea. There's the dog movie with Channing Tatum. That one I'm pretty sure is Deep Future, but I'm not actually sure. But I know that the next week after February 11th, so February 18th.
Uncharted. Coming out on the 18th.
Uncharted's on the 18th.
Blacklight's coming out on the 11th with Liam
Blacklight,
Neeson.
that's the other one with Liam Neeson.
Mhm.
Probably another Taken, but with a different name. So
You think it's like the same franchise, or?
no, I don't think it's the same. I just think that it's kind of like how when you see Nick Cage cast in a movie, and you're just kind of like, yeah, I know what kind of movie this is gonna be.
Yeah. So. Okay.
Speaking of which, there's a movie with Nick Cage coming out. I can't remember what it is. I think it's like the soul crushing pressure of being perfect or something like that. I can't remember. It was like some sort of obscure title like that, and it looks really good. And then there's the Batman with Robert Pattinson coming out in the early part of March.
Can I just point out that on the trailer, the Batman and Catwoman literally only whispered the entire time.
They talk like this.
Tell me different. Please watch it and let me know what you
My name's
observed.
Bruce Wayne. What's yours? Oh, Selena Kyle. Hey, how are you?
Selena.
Did it sound like ASMR? Just
What
like
is that?
it's that thing that people do where they like do like weird snapping thing at the mic and like make like noises that are supposed to be like.
No, it did not sound like
satisfying.
that.
Oh, okay.
It must be a TikTok thing.
Well, no, it was around before TikTok. That's been a thing for a while.
Oh, okay.
I think it's for like people with sensory issues. I don't know. I've never really sat down and watched anything ASMR related. I just know what it is.
Well, okay.
But on that note, thank you for joining us today.
If you were curious about how my poll is going,
oh yeah, she's got a poll on the
you got
Greek
2
yogurt
people
debate.
voted for Greek yogurt.
Ooh, who are they?
My cousin is one of them, and a girl I went to high school with, Marcy.
Glad to have them on my
Everybody
side.
else voted for fruit. All 87% voters.
So yeah, it turns out that Greek yogurt and fruit. I'd rather have Greek yogurt, and the other 90% of the population would rather have fruit. But on that note, it's been real. It's been fun.
But it hasn't been real fun.
It's all been real fun.
I mean, it's been so fun.
But thanks for watching. Like, comment, follow, subscribe. Do whatever thing the social media you're on tells you to do. And yeah, follow us along as we go on dates and watch movies. Thanks for joining us, and have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye.